Have you ever found yourself in mid-project when you came to learn some critical information about what a client needed in the project where you had to go back and redo a substantial amount of it, which either cost time and or money? That frustration was mine, and that's why I developed this discovery questionnaire. I've used it in onboarding, but it's a great tool for a lot of different kinds of ways that you can plan. One would be business planning. One might be developing your mission, vision, and value statement. You might need to name a product, a service, or even your company. You might be onboarding new clients like I have, or you might be doing a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat exercise for you and your company. This tool can help you. It's 200 questions. They're free. I'll give you a list of them at the end that you can go and get them to begin your own deep dive. In business planning, it will help you with building that roadmap that helps you think about where you're going and how you're going to get there. It helps you develop pitches for funding or joint venture projects. It helps you in your mission, vision, and values to think about what your purpose is, where you want to go in the future, and what your core values are that are the underpinnings to everything that you do. In naming exercises, it helps you find words that can help you pull together what you want to name something, as well as develop keyword ideas for your marketing information. In terms of onboarding, it's essential to get a complete picture in a needs assessment of what a client wants to accomplish. One of the most frustrating experiences I had was when someone said they thought they wanted a website, but it turned out they needed an entire business plan. In doing an exercise to evaluate your strengths and weaknesses, you're not only going to do it for yourself, but also to look at your competition. So we're going to take a walk through until you can get the questions and start yourself. But I wanted to give you a little video that helps you understand what some of the questions are in the list that you'll be and how you'll be able to use them and what you're up to. I like to get people to think about their exit strategy at the get-go of their business. This helps them to plan and start to get some new habits in place. For instance, if your exit strategy is to sell or turn your business over to a partner or family member, you want to develop policies and procedures today and every day as you go along to help in that transition. It also increases the value of your company. I want you to think about the big ideas to your company because they are the underpinning of everything you want to be able to do, including thinking about your niche and your unique selling proposition. Thinking about why we're the people to do this is one of the example of the questions that can help you fully build out this picture of your business. So in thinking about what your plans are, you want to be able to think about what do you think your success would be? What would be success to you in 1 year, in 5 years? And what are the milestones to get there? Additionally, you can look at things like how can I add more value to what I'm doing today that would help me gain greater goodwill in my community, that might help me make more money, that might help me find and attract other partners. So in thinking about revenue generating, this is often something that people don't think about because they'll develop a wonderful software application and they'll take it into their joint venture company and they'll say, hey, look at this thing. It spins, it whizzes, it's a great shiny object. And the joint venture people might say, I don't understand why a consumer would want it, and I don't understand what they would pay for it. It's critical to think about these things now as you do your planning. Also, it's a great time to think about how can I shorten my time to profitability? What could I do now that might speed that up? Other things include the key metrics that you're going to watch and what you're going to measure. Is it your cost per sale, your cost per lead? What other metrics do you need to look at as a business? And then in terms of looking at your target market, not just the problems that you solve and why do your users care about you, and what do they believe, their core beliefs about your target group. One of the things I get people to try to think about is, are there multiple groups that are your prospects? Can you develop your materials and tweak them for different groups, making this a very efficient task, but also you're broadening your base for generating revenues for your business when you think about, wow, there are more people that I could reach if I just did these few things. Additionally, I like people to think about the words, adjectives, what describes their business and what describes their customer. These are words that you will be using in your marketing materials, but also in how you think about them and maybe how you identify those new groups that you might be able to target to. In looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, you're not only looking at the selling points and the features and benefits of using you, but also are there some weaknesses where you can build on those and determine what you can do better and what you can make easier for yourself, as well as looking at your clients. Look at their strengths and weaknesses and how you can capitalize on what you learn when you think about those. Other questions that are important to know is, what is your cost of goods? What does it cost you to develop that product or service? Because that will help you determine, what should I be charging for these? Am I charging too much or too little? Additionally, I like to ask people to think about diagramming their customer's life cycle, not just from acquiring them, that lead nurture sequence that you're going to do until they make that first purchase, but additionally rolling it into the next lead nurturing sequence after they buy until their next purchase. And what you can do with that life cycle diagram helps you to keep and retain those customers so that you don't have to pay for as many new customers. It's so much easier to sell for people who have been your previous customers. They know you, they're more loyal, and you can develop them into champions. From that, we're going to look at how. So you want to be able to think about, what is the lifetime value of my customer and how can I increase that? For instance, there might be some additional products and services that you could develop and keep that person longer. You want to work on retention strategy, and what does that look like? Other things like your timing for a new product launch, a new website launch. Is this the right time? For instance, we're in a pandemic. Maybe something should be delayed. Perhaps if you're in health and wellness, for instance, this might be the perfect time. Other things to think about are in phasing. For instance, budgeting. You may be thinking about a new website, for instance, but you can't do everything now. Maybe you can look at when you could do those next phases, and then what about this first phase could you do to help you reduce cost and time later? Next, we look at things that you need. In other words, do you need other products and services before you launch? Do you need other marketing assets before you launch? Do you need other staffing, funding, outsourcing? What are these considerations that you need to make as you're going on your merry way here? When you look at your competition, what does their site look and feel look like to you? Do you like it? What things about it don't you like? Would you do better or differently? What messaging, what targeting do they do that you absolutely don't like? What do you like? Can you get some inspiration from this to do something better, or find something and some new advantage and take advantage of that? What social media platform choices are they making, and what ad choices are they making, and how can you learn from those? What do you like about them? What don't you like about them? What would you do differently? And is there something you can learn from what they're doing? These are just some of the questions in this free 200 plus questionnaire that you can download and start using today. You can get it at bit.ly/CDM_discovery, or find it at dmcenter.com. I hope you have a great experience with your deep dive, and I look forward to hearing about how it went.